All right, welcome to another episode of the Freezin NFC North Podcast, episode 66, 2023 NFC North, Week 9 review, Week 10 preview, homer and realistic point of views. This could be a beast of a show. I think, Reverend, you get that? The 66 there. Especially we're talking about Josh Dobbs igniting the Vikings. Just some weird feelings. Like I was actually cheering for the Vikings. I don't know. Feel good story for the Vikings. Hopefully it ends soon. But it's when you look at the state of this division, it's just I just don't know what to think other than the Lions are still on top. And,
there you go.
And so welcome, Seventh Letter. Where can everyone find you as we get started?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, same OG, on X, Twitter, on Seventh Letter 4, and of course on the top of the NFC North, as we know.
On the top, and I am also on top. I'm actually wearing my it's under the CHGO podcast. Greg Braggs, he actually covers Purdue football as well. Great guy. Met him at training camp and connected with him. I'm wearing the Meatball Island Chicago Bear official T-shirt.
That's cool.
Yeah, cool. So repping CHGO. Listen to them. They've got some great stuff on Bears and everything NFL as well. So NFLOutdated on Twitter, YouTube, and all things Bears, all things football. But also welcome in Trevor. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me back. It's surprising you had me back after last week.
Hey, it was worth the money just to kind of let you go.
Get your popcorn ready.
Get it ready. Well, we're waiting for Craig. GA Skol should be in soon, hopefully. If not, as we said, we'll pile on the Vikings, but we'll kind of get going. Trevor, when you look at what happened with the Packers in Week 9, what do you think? They won, so you have to pass out some helmet stickers. It was against the backup quarterback who got cut.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about that game and tell me about what you're thinking and what you saw that could maybe give hope going forward.
Well, to be honest, I feel like I saw a lot of the same, but the two things that were different that I do feel like really impacted the game was the O-line play was much better. I was a lot more worried about Aaron Donald. I felt like even though Aaron Donald had an impact, I don't think that Aaron Donald dominated like I thought he was going to dominate. And then we also ran the ball effectively. Finally, we freed Aaron Jones. I felt like we've been in the McCarthy era again, like free Aaron Jones. Like, what are we doing here? And he obviously is our most dynamic player on offense. So it's nice to give him the ball. So yeah, I think those are the two biggest things. I think as well as our defense played really well and they just had a really bad quarterback. So that's a winning recipe right there.
Well, what I can understand also, yeah, you had those things. You kind of like it's just kind of the game was just kind of like somebody's got to win it, and it wasn't going to be ripping, understanding for the Rams. But what I can't understand with the Packers and is just the Christian Watson being, not involved at all until, he made that one catch it was a clutch catch. Then he got hurt. So what are you thinking? What are you hearing? Packer fans?
Just so sad. I got to laugh. It's like, what do you do?
He was supposed to be number one. He was supposed to dominate. He was supposed to do all these things, right?
Yeah. In my fantasy leagues, out of 11 leagues, I drafted Watson in 8 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought he was going to have a monster year. Now, the reason why he's not being effective is because Jordan Love can't throw the ball far enough for him to get open.
Right.
He's coming back for the ball. That is just a fact.
Right.
In fact, the incredible catch that he had was because he came back. Now, the other thing, too, is the game before, I believe, Jordan Love was going to his left and throw it with his right, and he threw a dot into the end zone. He was double covered, and Watson, it hit him in the hands, and he dropped it. So I'm not saying that the combo is awful. It just doesn't seem like it. Like when Tyreek Hill went to Miami, I didn't think that was going to be a good combination because I didn't think that Tua could throw the ball accurately down the field. Now, I've been wrong about that assessment. And I thought Jordan Love was going to be able to do that with Watson. So I do think that's why he's not there. I also think that him coming off these injuries, you don't just come off an injury and all of a sudden just go back to normal. I do think it takes some time, but it really unfortunately got hurt again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Watson, he was supposed to be another breakout player, but I mean, what frustrates me about as a Bears fan is you look at some of these other wide receivers that just kind of stepped up. You know, they got a lot of young receivers, you know, Wicks, and obviously there have been a lot of drops and everything, but it really seems like you look at that, the core, some of the young players, there's talent there, even beyond Watson, if they could get obviously the quarterback right. You know, obviously, you know me, I'm not in on Jordan Love. Yeah. And it is interesting when you kind of look at, you know, what Aaron Rodgers did with him, you know, when I just don't know if it's maybe a leadership issue or you know, what it really is from Love that's not kind of getting the most out of some of his receivers.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a really good observation, to be honest with you, because you would think that the speed would get him open, and then they keep talking about how Dobbs and Watson had this incredible connection, and then it's like, but you never throw him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, and it's, you know, the way that the cameras on it is, you don't get to see the routes, right? Mm. And you have to watch the game later and have all these other people put stuff on Twitter so you can see how, but is Dobbs just not open? Or is he not looking his way? Because apparently you guys have this incredible chemistry, but you rarely throw him the ball, so that means he's probably not open. Or you're worried that the pressure's coming. I don't know what's going on there. I do really like Wicks. Mm-hmm. I think that he's going to be a sneaky good player. I don't know if he's going to become. Is he going to become a number 2? I'm not sure. A number 1? I'm not sure. Probably not. But I just like everything I've kind of seen on him. Yeah, he's dropped a couple balls. Yeah, he did fumble that ball there. I don't want to discredit it, but I'm like thinking, when I watch him, I'm thinking there's something a little bit more special about that guy than everyone else that I'm watching. And I'm like, I wonder if he's going to become something a lot better than people give him credit for. So
I like that you point that out, because I feel like, you know, when you have wide receivers, you know, you talk about, well, are they not open and everything? And with me last year, if you kind of remember, I was like, well, you know, Mooney, is he open? Is he not? You know,
yeah.
But for the great and even the better receivers, it doesn't matter. They get open.
Yes.
You know, and obviously with Wicks, you're hearing his name because he's, you know, finding ways. You know, obviously Jordan Love's getting the ball, but like players like DJ Moore, they find ways to get open. Now, obviously, you know, the coaching game plan, you know, can, you know, throw a wrench in things. But, I mean, you've got, like, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, obviously I put on Twitter, DJ Moore is better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'll take DJ Moore. Look at the stats. But
is it true? Come on. You don't think for a moment that if the Lions offered Ra for DJ, it'd be like, accept?
No, I'm taking DJ Moore.
How old is DJ Moore?
Well, 26? That's a look. He's
29.
Well, Moore. He's been on the field. Isn't the best availability?
I think he's probably more dynamic than Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is just a better with golf. I never seen him play with nobody. He's tougher than DJ Moore. He blocks better. He gets open underneath. He's good on third down. You know what I mean? He fucks around with them linebackers a lot. So, you know, like that's a good quality to have. Like it's about the big plays are special. Mm-hmm. For real. But I just think like consistently he's 11 catches, 9 catches consistently. Has big games and then 5 catches, 60 yards, 50 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, you look at his thing, he has 6 100-yard games this year.
So I do like with Amon Ra. Obviously, I did see him in person. You just can tell these receivers, they're just that much. The talent it's evident. Even in practice situations. But I do like that he has kind of that little bit more outspoken. DJ Moore, he's more reserved. He's going to let his play do the talking, which is good and bad. When you have an overall, and I'm going to say overall bad team like the Bears, you need, yeah, I am admitting that. Yes, you need players to kind of step up, and for the Lions, you've got. Obviously, you've got Dan Campbell, but you've got some of these other players that are out front.
I like Amon-Ra. I've liked Amon-Ra ever since he beat up Jeff Okudah his rookie year. Like, I like him. I like him. He don't care. He got a lot of confidence. He got a chip on his shoulder, and you could tell he carries that chip on his shoulder every game. He's real. I like.
He was he was at the draft in Kansas City when I was there.
Right. That's right.
And I almost waited in line to get his autograph, but I had my Bear stuff on. I'm glad I didn't because what he did because didn't he do something at the draft with some Bears fans?
Yes, he is.
So I might have actually gone viral for something. Actually.
Yeah, that's my boy, man. But what did he do? The Lions. He just he went in front of after the draft, and after we picked Brian Branch, I think he put his thumbs down to the Bears fans in the front.
Because the Bears fans weren't paying attention, and he's like, basically they were boring, and So I mean, that's
fine. He probably wasn't wrong.
No, not at that point. Hopefully, eventually we'll get there.
But it kind of helps with the rivalry.
Yeah,
absolutely.
My thing with the Packers is, I think the way you called this game this week is probably the best for Jordan Love. It'll get his confidence. You didn't lean on him so much. And if you have I forget where your defense is ranked. It's like the 8th ranked defense in the NFL. So your defense has been holding up. So the games haven't gotten out of control. So you shouldn't have given up on a run so early. I mean, Aaron Jones had 20 carries, 70 yards, but it's not really about the yards per carry. It's about the effectiveness of the run. And they had a lot of effective runs. And when you play that game with defenses, you get into the play action game, and there's a lot of wide open receivers. And then he was 20 for 26. This is his best completion percentage all season.
Yep.
Because you didn't try to make him Aaron Rodgers. He's not. And even when Aaron Rodgers was playing, they always had a good running game. Always. Somebody was getting sliced. Somebody was getting through there. Mm-hmm. If it was Jamal Williams, because that's who used to kill me. Jamal Williams or Aaron Jones gashing somebody, you have to be patient with him and give him a chance to be successful. You can't have him out there throwing the ball 30 times. Mm-hmm. He ain't ready for that yet. But if you give him confidence, 20, 26 throws, that's good.
Well, especially Jordan Love seems to be bad in obviously the deep balls, right? But even some of the short, passes. So in kind of the 8 to 10, 12 yards, I mean, he can do that.
He can. He's not an NFL quarterback.
Linebackers come down, and then the receivers is more open. It works for Jared Goff, yo. You know what I'm saying? It works for Jared Goff. He is not throwing nobody open, you know? But when you keep running that ball, those linebackers come down, and you just pop right over the top.
Yeah, and actually, I think that's a really good recipe. It's just that sometimes the game gets out of hand, and then they try to put the ball in Jordan's hands and say, "Okay, go win it for us." And he hasn't really been able to do that this year. I mean, when that Eagles game, he looked really good last year, but they were playing prevent defense. But at the end of the day, we haven't seen that he can win a game. Now, one guy I did forget to mention who I'm really I was unsure of was the Jaden Reed. I like him. He's explosive. I think they need to get the ball in his hands more. This is the problem with Green Bay when we were walking in. This is what I was saying even from preseason. The biggest challenge from us when it comes to the offense is you have two rookie tight ends, you have 2 rookie wide receivers, and then you had 2 sophomores. So your sophomores can't slump, and your rookies have to play like third-year players in order to be honestly successful. And I know that's a really big bill, but that's why I think what you're saying, 7 letter is good, is we need to be more realistic about where you put Jordan Love
Right.
and the situations. And then when the O-line is terrible, there's just too much pressure. And I understand he had 3 years, but at the end of the day, game experience is everything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we're getting. So people say he's not a rookie, but he's kind of a rookie, in experience,
Mm-hmm.
but he's had all those years to prepare. So he shouldn't have as many excuses as a rookie has.
This has to the frustrating thing, I'm sure, for Packers fans is you kind of look at it, and like even as a Bear fan, kind of looking on the outside, Jordan Love will have some plays, some of the runs that can kind of extend the drives, and like especially kind of in some key moments, but it just doesn't seem like he is able to kind of rise to the occasion fully. He'll make some plays. So it'll be interesting as far as, obviously I've been on, Twitter, it rants, saying, start the backup and all that. But I mean, they're going to have to continue to give him a chance. But I don't know, what it would take for him to be the starter next year. They're going to have to look at options. If he's kind of still in this, 59% completion percentage, right?
I agree. and what if we can't win another game?
Yeah.
And we're picking high? It's just a realistic question,
Mm-hmm.
right? They have to win some more games so Jordan Love stays out of the heat.
So this is such a weird feeling. I talked about possibly rooting for the Vikings, and when it was kind of like evident that the Packers were going to win, I said, all right, that's not so bad. Maybe they win a few games and maybe they're not in contention for the number one overall pick. Which, in this year, it could be interesting because, you got Caleb Williams, got some of these other top names, right? Drake May. But there's a lot of pressure at the top of the draft to really get it right. I mean, we saw that with the Panthers, they're really struggling with Bryce Young. In our fantasy dynasty, I'm glad I took CJ Stroud. I was that choice. You remember that?
You and I were on the same train.
We
were saying to take him. Bryce Young wasn't the guy we would have taken.
Just the prototypical size. I mean, it really matters. And even Caleb Williams, and you don't want to. I mean, obviously he's a kid and everything, but he's also brought a lot on himself. I think after the USC game, he was crying in the stands. And we're not used to seeing that. And so when you kind of look at, honestly, as a Bears fan, what Fields has had to deal with, I would not necessarily want Caleb Williams in Chicago either. You have to have someone thick-skinned that's going to be like, I'm going to take this, and so it's going to be interesting kind of overall when you look at it. Obviously, let's kind of, getting back to last week's games. I mean, it's really hard with the Bears, with Tyson Bagent and really to get a full sense of, what this team is and is going to be, because, thankfully in a way, with, Tyson Bagent, what he throw 3 interceptions. Was it 4?
He had 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble loss.
So here's the thing,
all in the fourth quarter too, right? A couple of them were in the fourth quarter.
The Saints kept letting the Bears stay in the game, just letting them stay in the game. And so the good thing with this is, we can hopefully, for the most part, debunk the Tyson Bagent is the next Bears quarterback.
Definitely.
He's a competent backup, but just doesn't have the arm strength, doesn't have the experience, just doesn't have, all of the intangibles that you need. Now, obviously, some people are in and out on Fields. I'm still in on Fields, and they definitely need to continue to give him, when he's healthy, the time and evaluate him. But, Tyson Bagent just doesn't have it. I mean, he was trying, he's the thing is, he has all of the everything the coach needs. He studies, he knows the plays, he knows, everything, but he just doesn't have
the gifts.
Exactly. I mean, it would be just an amazing story, but I think that's kind of where it is. It's just a story. It's not a, this is a Rudy, right?
Right. But it'd be nice if it was a better story.
Yeah.
I still like the Justin Fields story. And obviously Fields is not going to start this week. He is out Thursday versus the
Why?
Yeah. Well, I think he's still there's videos of him still kind of throwing and everything, but I think he's still trying to get
Aaron
enough.
Rodgers might come back before Justin Fields.
I'm telling you, Jesus.
He might. Well, and here's the thing too with this whole reading and listening to the all of the press conferences, and I am just done with Eberflus. The things you can tell when he's lying, just the same phrases he's using
within seconds.
Yeah, you just can. And it's such a disservice to Fields and his talent. And does Fields have some deficiencies in his game? Absolutely. The worst thing I can see him actually going to another team, getting traded to another team like the Falcons and doing well. I mean, obviously they've got issues with their coach as well, Arthur Smith, but I like him. But as a Bears fan, and this is on Chicago radio as well, you talk about like at the very least, you want Justin Fields to play the last, 6-7 games, the last part of the season and do well. So at the very least, another team would want to trade for him. I'm still in on his talent. I wish it would be for the Bears, but it's kind of like, in that, gray area. Like, are they going to give him another chance or not? Hopefully, I'm hoping it's not this coaching staff that will be anywhere near him or another quarterback next year.
They're done. You ain't got to worry about that. They're done.
I've been a Bears fan. They've messed it up for so long, so I don't know. We do have Kevin Warren. That's the one thing. I like Kevin Warren, and he is he's been known to come in and shake stuff up. My hope is Michigan fires Harbaugh. Harbaugh comes here, and although there's a lot of bad blood between Harbaugh and George McCaskey. So there you go. Just the way he left when he was a quarterback.
I'm just saying, it's just like it's already bad before it even started.
Yeah, it's. Yeah.
I mean, someone's going to want to go coach there and turn that franchise around, especially if you end up getting a new stadium and that whole thing. That's going to be exciting for that area if that ever happens, right? But I mean, it's a historic franchise. Somebody's going to want to go, don't they?
That's the hope, but that's the thing. I think, sometimes like some of these older franchises, the Packers and the Bears, you kind of rely on that. Well, we're a historic franchise. Everybody want to come to play for us. No, you have to prove that you're going to, that the front office is going to actually know what they're doing, right?
Did y'all start the stadium yet?
What's that?
No
progress. Yeah. So that's the hope that they will kind of move toward. Obviously, I've never lived in Chicago, so I'm not completely married to, keeping in the city. I do like having like a complex. Like I told you guys, I'm heading to to SoFi to see your Lions play the Chargers, and I'm just excited to see that stadium. Like that's awesome. That's kind of what you want for your franchise. Like the stadium is state of the art. It's just a destination. So hopefully the Bears can make that, but as we kind of let's talk about one other game. I'm not sure if Craig's going to get a chance, but to get on or not. But just the Vikings' emotional comeback win. I mean, what were you, Seventh Letter? What were you thinking? Were you watching that?
I honestly, I knew it was going to happen because Falcons are. I told you about that Heineke, man. It's just, like after that game against the Bucks when he played for the Washington football team that year, like he started the next year. And my best friend is a Redskins, a Commanders fan, and he holds the ball too long, and he doesn't have the gifts You know, he doesn't have the speed. He doesn't have the arm strength. The ball hangs in the air forever. Like, it's not that I wouldn't say he was as bad as Ritter, but he ain't that much better. And then the coach kind of played into their hands and didn't use Bijan. Like, yo, you deserve that. They deserve to lose. They deserve to lose, yo. 55 on the Falcons gets cut for not being able to tackle the. Oh, yo, I was pissed. I want the Vikings, because especially after last week, like, I want the Vikings because I know I don't want to I want to break their heart, but I wanted to, like, because I know they ain't playing nobody. The schedule is very favorable. Like, they playing all kind of teams that they can't beat them. They haven't played a quarterback yet. So I know they're gonna win a couple games. They're gonna talk all it, like, you gotta hear them talk about J-Mo and they boy number like Addison. Like, come on, man. Like, you lost with all your best players. Now you over here playing nobody and eking by and getting wins. Like, who they play next?
New Orleans.
Like, New Orleans gonna give them the game because Carr sucks. Like,
yeah, and like New Orleans tried to give the Bears the game, and like,
yes,
and just like they kept, giving it back to them, and so the one hope for the Vikings, right, and obviously Dobbs had that story, just coming in. It was just great, good for him and everything. We'll see if he can sustain it, but the one thing for them, obviously, it will be when Jefferson comes back. He's not coming back this week, but when he comes back, that'll help them. But I just don't know. Like, when you look at the Vikings, like, Dobbs is not, I mean, it's a great story, but he is not a long-term answer. And like, that's the thing. I think every franchise in all of our franchises, other than the Lions right now, need to figure out what we're doing long-term at quarterback. And Dobbs is a great story, but it's kind of like, they used to keep doing that. And I lived in Mankato at the time, the Favre years, and they kept right afterwards. They kept kicking the can down the road. I remember being in training camp and they brought in Donovan McNabb, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be great. No, he was done.
Oh, he was already, he was done. He was done at that point.
So let's see here. Roasty has some questions here. Falcons had numerous missed tackles on Dobbs.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But the thing about Dobbs is, like, he didn't have any practice time. He's literally taking snaps on the sideline, which is wild. Why wouldn't you give him a couple snaps with the team you don't know if someone's going to get hurt, right? So, like, they're so confident in Hall. That just boggles my mind. I feel like it's extremely bad prep. Like, what are you guys doing as a franchise, right? He comes in and has this miraculous thing. And last week when the Vikings fan was talking about Hall, I just had a hard time believing that this 5th round pick was the next guy who's going to turn this keep the franchise going, not turn it around, but keep it going, right? But I was thinking when they made that trade for Dobbs, I was like, you know what? That's the kind of guy that I could see help keep the franchise going for this season. And maybe Kirk Cousins doesn't come back the way he's wanting, and maybe that's the guy you stick with. Like, maybe he's in the right spot. I actually like Dobbs a lot.
I think he should have fun. I think he's good enough to have to be a backup somewhere for years. Like, he's not that bad. Like, he's all right. He'll win you some games. Like, the Giants should have been knocking on the
right. I was going to say that. Yes.
Like, he's not bad at all, He needs to find a home because he's competent. He's smart as hell.
Yeah,
I'm sure these like franchises kind of figure out where they're at. With the Giants, I mean, their season has just been a mess.
They worse than y'all.
Yeah, they are, right. Absolutely. And so, like, you don't make a move for someone who's kind of obviously showing competent, can actually win some games. He won a game with Arizona, right? So you beat the Cowboys. Yeah. So you don't make that move unless you think you're at least in the mix. And in the NFC North, there's a little bit more option. I mean, it's a little bit more wide open for something. Let's Let's see. Rossi also had something. Does Poles have the power to hire who he wants? That is the big question. So that was the thing. Like he was given a short list of coaches, and the story was, oh, he was on my list too, Poles said, but I really don't think so. So that's the big thing. Like, will Poles? I think Poles will still be around. There was a list, and it
I
just,
know, but it was on his list. Like, he was on my list too, but he was number 12.
yeah. That's like when you get a gift and you're like, oh, thank you. I
I'll tell you a
wanted
funny story
that.
about that.
The
So
Bears
Christmas,
gave him a list.
I get my sister-in-law
He'd
buys
already
me,
interviewed him. Yes.
Yeah, she buys me a sweater. Okay, it happened to be kind of a purple sweater. Okay, and it was nice, right? And I lifted it up, and it's a medium. Guys, I'm a double XL. It's like, thanks.
Do you have the receipt?
Yeah, I love.
Is that what Eberflus was?
Pretty much. I mean, and that was like from the get-go, he was corny with the hits principle and all those things. But what you do is, like, if you have that corniness, like Dan Campbell, you have that, you put up with it if they're starting to win and show that they can, take their players and mold them and show growth. And that's obviously not happening. And so, like, it'll just be interesting throughout the season how much longer they're going to hold on to him. I think they wanted to, give obviously Montez Sweat come in and kind of give him a couple games. So we'll really see. I mean, the Bears typically do not fire in midseason. They've never done it. So that's I don't know. We'll see with that. But let's kind of get into this week's games, and let's go ahead with the Lions.
Sure.
They are at SoFi this week and facing the 4-4 LA Chargers. So what are some keys and what's a path to the Lions going into the Chargers and winning this week?
Well, thanks for asking. Montgomery's coming back. Jonah Jackson will be back. Frank Ragnar will be back. I'm happy. Like, only all of our draft picks except for Hendon Hooker is playing. Like, the way they looked last week. Well, it's the Jets defense. So the Jets got a pretty good defense. But I just if Palmer doesn't play, I think this might be a little bit easier than everyone expects. They can't really they play the run well, but I don't think they've been up against an offensive line like ours. So I think we'll still be able to get like meaningful running plays and start playing that play action game with them. We got a good offensive line, so I don't think they're not sacking Goff 8 times like they did a homeboy last week. You know what I'm saying? So I like our tackles against their pass rush. So I'm comfortable with that. They can't cover, and we can pass. So I don't know, man. I'm comfortable with saying we should win this one pretty easily.
So are you worried about Eckler though? What he can do to the Lions?
No, because we've been pretty good against the run. We've been pretty good against the run this year.
But he's not necessarily only run, right? Like, I think, and that's what killed the Bears. It's just kind of like getting him out and making plays in space.
That don't really bother us that much, Like we like Anzalone been kind of playing his ass off, like covering the running backs this year. So, like, again, I'm comfortable with that. I'm pretty comfortable with that. We got caught with a screen in Baltimore, but that's like our biggest play a running back has had on it. I think it was like 80 yards actually. But we were already losing at that point, and we was trying to create pressure and got caught blitzing, and they, it was the perfect play. So we play pretty well, running backs pretty well. We've been good against the run. No running back has really hurt us this year except for the Ravens. So I'm comfortable with this one. I might be just talking out my ass because I am afraid. I do think Keenan Allen is playing his ass off this year. Those big good receivers, man, they give us a headache. And one thing about Herbert, he keeps plays alive, and he's always looking downfield. And I got some little cornerbacks back there that I don't really trust so much. I think we should have traded for a cornerback. Somewhere along the line, that's like a real cover corner, but
did you pick up a receiver?
Peoples, Donovan Peoples, Jones, and something like
Mhm.
that, which we needed because
Mhm.
Marvin Jones, he left the team, so we needed another experienced, bigger receiver to do that. Like we really missed DJ Chark. I mean,
Mhm.
because Jamison Williams isn't developing at the pace we thought. So
Why is that? Like, is he just not like?
got suspended. He was hurt all
Yeah.
last year. Then he got hurt after the Giants game, after the second preseason game. So he missed some more. Then he was suspended. So he just. I hope. I'm looking into that slant that he caught last week against the Raiders. Like, that's the best catch he's had as a Lion. That's a real catch. It wasn't a touchdown or nothing. It was a nice slant pattern deep. He would have broke it if he didn't get tripped up. But he caught it with his hands, and everything he's ever caught as a Lion has been this. Like he'll catch it against his body, but like hand catches, like true wide receivers running routes like he does in practice that everybody's so impressed with. I don't care, man. Like catch the fucking ball, yo. You fast, yes. Now catch the ball. Stop dropping it. He got more drops than he has catches.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with him. So
Trevor, do you think are you in on the Lions this week?
Yeah, I'm picking the Lions to win, but I actually really like the Chargers, and one of my closest friends is a Chargers fan, so I've watched them closely, and I just always think they're better than they are. You know what I mean? And
always
Herbert,
been that way. Yes.
Herbert is struggling this year. I love watching Justin Herbert. I think he's a fantastic quarterback, but it feels like this year he's off. That long ball that he likes to throw has been off a lot. I think he's got 2 or 3 picks when he threw the long ball. So what nobody talks about the Lions, and I've been talking about, and I know that 7 Letters been talking about, is nobody talks about how hard they hit. Like it's ferocious.
Yeah.
It is. It's like I'm surprised they haven't injured more players. The way they come in and just hammer on people, that's what people don't talk about. It's like people are like, oh man, that hurt, and it's like for weeks. That's what it looks like to me. Like they're borderline getting kicked out of the game hits. You know what I mean? And they keep it good enough so they stay in the game, but the way they come in, and I don't think people are ready for that. They talk about the coach, and they talk about, the wide receivers, and then they talk about the run game, and it's like nobody's talking about this defense. And now I'm a huge fantasy football guy. I'm shocked that the Lions aren't a good fantasy defense, but in real life, they are crazy good, in my opinion.
They've had a couple good games. I know I have them on some of my leagues as well. But a lot of times it's obviously who you're facing, against the Bears, I'm sure they would do well. Right. So, but the Lions are right now, I believe, 2.5 point favorites at the Chargers. I think over under is like 48.5 points. No way.
I said away. Like this is uncharted waters for your boy.
Right.
Okay, but even fantasy wise, right? So like Detroit is they're just, it doesn't say what number they are. They have 62 fantasy points. The Chargers have 69. So they're very similar, right?
Yeah.
But like that,
the Chargers,
they're not even a top 10. Like Chargers have got to be like a 12, 13. Like that's what I'm saying is the Lions' real life football defense is unbelievably good.
Yeah, I mean Hutchinson, right? It starts there, right?
Oh, he's crazy.
Yeah,
and you have to have a guy like that. That's why the Chargers with Bosa, or the 49ers with the other Bosa, or Max Crosby, or I hope Gary can be in that conversation as well, right? But like Hutchinson is an absolute beast. He's a beast.
I like Gary. I like Gary.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
But then he never gets the respect like these other guys do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, that's the Green Bay bias narrative. And I'm like, I don't know, man. He looks pretty good to me. But Hutchinson is like, he's a difference maker.
Yeah, he plays good against the run. So I like that. That's what makes him good. He's violent. He like you can't get out of his grasp except for Justin Fields that time. Like he's pretty. I like him. I like his violence. That's what I like most about him. Like when he come off the line, he bull rush, and then you going back. Don't matter who you are, except if you're the Seahawks. I don't know.
So Rosie has a great point here. Obviously, yeah. When I begin the season, when I look at the Lions defense, it scared me because of Hutchinson, because of that front four. But I think when you talk about like a fantasy, defense doing well, yeah. I mean, it's like you have the cornerbacks who are going to make interceptions, who are going to that are going to cause turnovers. I think that is so a great point here by Rosie. But when you talk about a complete team though, and a team doing well, I think when push comes to shove, I think when the season gets later, I think the Lions, the defense is going to help them. Obviously, it helps to have a good offense, but I do like the Lions.
Yeah, defense. Like all we needed last year was for our defense to be like in the top 15, and we win a couple of games that we lost. Like all the games were so close. It was now we're winning those games we would have lost because our defense is making stops and getting off the field on third down. That's the difference. It's simply that's it. Like we don't have as many turnovers as we did on the second half of the season. And Goff is throwing interceptions every fucking game now for some reason. But like
we all know how that feels.
Yo, stop it. You're not that good, bro. Just throw it to the open man. Stop trying to play hero ball. Stop it.
Well, he was good last year. He only had 7 last year.
Yeah, and then he had no interceptions for like the last 7 games. Like, stop, bro.
Right.
Stop it.
So, speaking of two teams that are not good, the Thursday night football matchup, an epic matchup between the Bears, led by Tyson Bagent, and Bryce Young.
This is how you need to introduce it. On Thursday night, if you want to waste some buffalo wings and blue cheese, tune in to Amazon Prime for the fucking Bears and the Panthers. The Buffalo Wing Waste Bowl. Jesus Christ, man. What? I swear, like, the Lord is looking down on Jeff Bezos. Like, you got too much money. I'm going to give you every booty game this year. Every last.
Here's the thing, though. I think, and we're all suckers for the NFL, right? Most of us are at least going to tune in to at least part of it.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that shit, man.
It's the NFL. Like, we're kind of like.
I'm going to.
Right. But so.
Even though I kind of want to.
The only intrigue for the Bears is they better win this game, right? They better win this game because this has, it'll just help them with the draft pick. I mean, that's. But once again, you got Tyson Bagent. Even with that, the Bears are still a 4-point favorite. Over under is 39 points for this game. Obviously, like a lot of weird things happen on Thursday games. So I'm not, taking out of the equation that maybe Tyson Bagent throws for 5 touchdowns. But I'd take at least less than 5 turnovers.
You know what's going to happen? Like,
Don't do it.
Vontaze Sweat gonna have like 2 sacks next week, right? And he is going to be Khalil Mack all over again for y'all. Y'all gonna love him. But he's another bum y'all paid for no reason.
No, he's not.
He is.
No,
he is.
No.
Y'all paid him like he was Julius Peppers, man. He not.
Well, Julius Peppers is too old. I don't want him right now.
I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about when he heard Matthew Stafford that time. Like he. All right. He's not a bum.
He's a good character guy too, and that's I think what you need. Like that was the thing. So we talked about the difference between him and Chase Young. I heard a lot of things. Chase Young did a lot of freelancing. He would kind of do his own thing, and that's where he kind of got a lot of knocks on him. Maybe you don't hear about that because he is the big name coming out of Ohio State and everything. But Sweat, he's going to his coach, his college coach said that he ate his vegetables on 1st and 2nd down so he could eat his dessert on 3rd down. That was the quote. And so like that means he may not be superstar. I'm hoping he still is, but he's going to do the work. And that's kind of what you want.
25 million? You better be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need 12 sacks. 25 mil.
He's on pace for career high.
First time in his career.
Although being with the Bears might throw him off there. I'm going to say that. So.
Well, y'all play a little guy this week, man, and he likes to get sacked and fumble and throw interceptions. Like he likes to do all those things that lose you games. So you should You guys should win this one.
Yogi, go sub Purple Rain. Oh, Purple Rain here. This is watch party on Thursday. I think don't eat very much if you're gonna do a watch party on this one. I'm a Bears fan. I'm saying that. I just you were kind of joking on Twitter about watching that Iowa game. There was 0-0 at halftime. And quite frankly, I didn't, because it just wasn't worth it. Like, I'm hoping like the Bears are getting to that point. If they continue to start Tyson Bagent, it is almost unwatchable. At least with Fields, you have the possibility of some big plays happening and you seeing some growth, and then you find out what you have. With Bagent, it's just, let's just get through the game, no injuries. Hopefully we have to beat the Panthers and all of that, but it's just
you guys play well against what's in it. Like, it's not like y'all didn't move the ball. He just kept turning it over. Y'all have more yards. Y'all ran the ball well on him. He had 70 yards rushing. Now, imagine, I just pray that this is the same approach that they take when Justin Fields gets back.
That was the thing they said.
Joe, Jesus Christ.
They said that was like the coaches were trying to say, oh, they had the same game plan. No, like you're trying to give a Justin Fields game plan to Tyson Bagent. It's just this coaching staff they need to be done. They don't know what they're doing. Like, it's just and I don't know much about coaching and everything, but when you can see that, like, you're not taking the gifts that you have, you're not learning what's working. And they were saying that the defense that Flus should be saying, hey, this is what I'm seeing, to Luke Getsy, almost kind of like helping him. I mean, it's just like you have to be able to see what's going on and actually change and adapt, right?
Right. No, he has not shown the ability to do so or adjust.
So are we all picking the Bears this week?
You know what? I want to pick the Bears, but here's a stat that's really hilarious. Okay, I'm just looking at this right now. Okay, Chicago is the fourth worst defense to give up points. They have given up 218. Carolina, which 7 better, you told me that they had a good defense.
Yes,
and I'm telling you, you're wrong.
Well,
they put 208 points up. Baltimore is number 1, and they've done 122. Like,
didn't they get like 100 versus the Lions though too? I think Baltimore got 100 versus the Lions.
They got 30 something.
It's a lot,
right? So what I'm saying is, this game, I wish Justin Fields was playing in this game, because he would absolutely torch up this defense. Yeah. I think he would get another 4 touchdowns, honestly.
Well, and Brian Burns
healed a lot too, bro.
Yeah.
Brian Burns is out as well, so for the Panthers.
Yeah. We got Bears win. 20.
So I'm going to pick the Bears to win this. Andy, hear what I'm saying here. I'm Bears to win. I don't even know how they're going to do it. Who you got at running back right now? I don't even know anymore.
So I'm glad you asked.
Herbert's back, right? Khalil Herbert's back, right?
That they're thinking he's going to get back, but they haven't officially put him off IR.
Is it the same thing where he said he's out? No, he's doubtful, but he's probably out. But then he could be doubtful. But if he's healthy, he's in.
Yeah,
sorry, that was Fields.
That's Fields. Yeah, so it could be either him or actually Dante Foreman is right in there.
Good.
They do. So here is the path to the Bears. Obviously, it is that run game, right? They are 4th in the entire NFL with 135.3 yards per game. And this is without Fields, right? The last year, they got a lot of the rushing yards because of Fields. So only 3 teams are better on the run than the Bears: the Ravens, the Dolphins, and the Browns. Like, those are the only 3 teams. So that run game is going to be important. On the offense, obviously, quick, passes, getting the ball out of his hand of, Bagent and all of that. And on the defense side of the ball, and I didn't realize this because, the linebackers kind of get, they got their money in the offseason, but TJ Edmonds, he's got 100 tackles, second in the league.
God damn, already?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
They've needed to. So,
so that's 200.
So that is so the path. Obviously, it would have to be a low scoring game. Run the ball, control it. The one thing, and I didn't realize this, and obviously, Viking Dave, when he came on, he is last year he was talking about how Thielen was a bum, right? Thielen right now has 62 receptions.
Mm-hmm.
He is on pace for the 6th most in the NFL history, 132. Yeah. So it's crazy.
You know who's second on the team in receptions? DJ Chark was 17.
DJ Chark.
He has 17 receptions. That's the second most receptions on the team.
Oh my gosh, that's
awful. Yeah.
I'm all in on the Bears. I'm all in.
I think I'm just going to clip that part. I'm going to clip that part and put it on repeat.
Oh my God.
All in on the Bears. Well done, Trevor.
Well
done.
You can't, if you lose to these guys.
Oh my God.
This is your only chance. Who do you play next?
It might be. I don't even want to look, quite frankly. But honestly, when Fields comes back, I will have a little bit more hope. But it is really, I think the last few weeks, it's just hard to know what to root for with the Bears because, where are we going? We don't know where we're going. We've got a coaching staff that doesn't know what they're doing. We've got Panthers at Detroit. We're going to get our ass handed to it. It just, at Detroit, we just don't have the talent. Although, Fields on that turf might be able to do something, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe. They played good last year, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna and we're not even
in Chicago, not so much in Detroit.
Okay.
That's what it was. Yes. Well, because that Detroit game was toward at Detroit was later in the season.
Well, you want to see bad? Wait till Thanksgiving Day when we got to play the Lions in Detroit. I don't think people are gonna watch that game.
I am. I'm all
everybody in Wisconsin's gonna throw up their turkey. Turkey puree all in Wisconsin.
The Lions, man. I told you it comes with the unwritten humbleness, man. You just don't know. The game's got to
I'm going to say this right now, though. As looking at the schedule, I'm guaranteeing a Bears win it in week 12. We'll just say that.
Against Detroit?
Oh. No.
Is it the bye week? Oh, sorry.
I'm done on that. No,
sorry, I just saw the bye week of the big show.
Guaranteeing versus the Vikings. The Bears beat the Vikings.
You think they're going to win? Yeah, I think
absolutely. Especially with Fields back.
You hear that?
Oh, I'm confident there. Yes.
Good.
So I'll take that. Purple Rain predicting, how about the Bears draft? No, do not draft J.J. McCarthy. Do not.
Hold up. He's predicting.
Oh, he wants J.J. McCarthy to the to the Bears instead of the Vikings. I'm not a McCarthy fan. Just not
that shit though. Pete.
Yeah.
ICKING in it. Oh, wow. All right. Maybe he's playing. Maybe.
Lions have an issue versus mobile quarterbacks for the last couple seasons. Oh.
Yeah, but you know what? Everybody in NFL has a problem with mobile.
That's right. Good
because
comeback,
they're good,
bro. Wow.
Everyone does. Not just
so. Yeah, so we're all in on the Bears. How about that? We're all agreed on that.
Look at
that's
you.
Because we're all reasonable here.
I know. It's weird.
Sorry.
It feels a little dirty. So are we all in on Josh Dobbs this week beating the Saints at home?
I think that this is the one. This is when the Vikings get to finally see who Josh Dobbs is. Kind of like he's a good backup, man, but he's not a starter, and I just don't think. I think they'll be ready for him this week. I do not think that the Falcons was ready for that. They just wasn't. They was ready to play a rookie quarterback and just sit back, beat up on him a little bit. But Josh Dobbs is kind of seasoned. He's a journey. The man played for damn near every team in the NFL. He was on our practice squad last year.
Yeah.
And I'm mad as hell because we had Blau and the other guy that played for the Jets now. We could have used them. Then he went started for the Titans. He's all right. He's not that bad. But I know what he is. He makes a lot of mistakes down the stretch. He fumbled 3 times Sunday, and then he settled in and just took the ball and ran with it. And they wasn't ready for it. But I think that I think the Saints have a good enough defense to really, like affect him a little bit, and they play man to man. So that only thing I'm worried about. They do play man to man on the outside, and Josh Dobbs is dangerous with his legs. So that might keep the game close. So because your man killed him. Bajan killed the Saints with his legs. He had 70 yards rushing. Josh Dobbs, he's slippery too. So I don't know. It might be close. They fuck around win anyway because Carr's playing. So.
Saints are 2.5-point favorites. It's a 41 over and under at this moment. So
I'm laughing a lot tonight.
yeah.
I'm going Saints, man. Saints.
I'm not laughing. I agree with you. It's funny how you say it.
I'm like going that. Saints too. Yeah,
I'm going Saints, man. I can't go for the Vikings, Joe. I'm tired.
Really? You're going the Saints?
Yeah, I'm going Saints too. I can't.
What?
Purple Rain's going 27-17 Vikings. I just don't believe in them.
I didn't either until Dobbs showed up. I'm going Vikings.
I think he's with a better.
I thought the Saints
better situation with the Vikings. I can see them winning. I do. I can. I just think that he's playing against a better defense this week, and it won't be so bendy like the Falcons. The Falcons have a good defense too, but they're not as good as the Saints. So I think the Saints will probably be able to score a little more than the Falcons. I mean, although Carr sucks, but
what's the deal with Michael Thomas? Also, I saw that he had like what?
He played football in 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, he was amazing, but just like fantasy wise, it's just not worth even touching him at all. But they got Rashid Shaheed that coming on. Yeah. So they've got some players there. Olave admitted he was in a little bit of a slump, but when he can turn it on, he can turn it on. So especially against the secondary of the Vikings, I would worry about that if I was a Vikings fan. Olave having a good game.
Yeah, blitz if you want with all that speed, man. I got some speed, so
yeah.
I don't see it. I can see how it can happen, but
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Vikings need to lose so they can shut the fuck up. They just need to.
Let's see. Flora is going to eat Carr alive. I don't know.
Well, I do think the Vikings are a little bit better as a team than people give them credit for. I do think, though, you're right about the Saints are better than the Falcons, and they kind of had to have a miracle to win that game. So maybe I'm wrong about this prediction. I don't know. I just think the Saints have all the tools to win this game, but will they? Like Kamara is stinking awesome.
Yeah.
Olave is solid, right? And even Taysom Hill is a pain in the butt.
Like they paid him all that money just to be a gadget guy. It works for them. I don't know how, but it works.
Right? So I don't know. The Saints should win this game. I just have this weird feeling that the Vikings are going to win, and their fans are going to all of a sudden think they're going to win the North.
Yeah.
We're going to have to bring on the other Viking Dave again. Not Viking Dave, but the other Dave again if they win, because that would be a complete and utter crazy show. So
well, we give them credit, right? Because they did.
Oh, absolutely.
My boy Rev turned into the ring girl. He'll crawl through the screen on that motherfucker, man.
That was box office.
Oh man, don't do that, man.
Well, let's move on to the Packers.
He can rub his flag all he wants.
He won't even hit him. He just go on his screen and snatch it.
I'm just gonna go in there, rip that flag down, and burn it. It's like a NFC. I've never in my life seen an NFC North flag in my life.
It's funny because you have mostly in baseball you have in the stores people stock the division champs and stuff like that. And I do admit I used to have a Bears NFC North Division Championship T-shirt, and then that was when the Packers beat them in the playoffs that year.
Oh, like Cobb.
Trev, yes. I have a flag outside of my house, Detroit Lions. I'm in Giants country, so
no, but it's not NFC North.
Well, yeah, it doesn't say NFC North because the Lions haven't won it, have they?
So, but now you might see what behind me.
And in all honesty, and this is an NFC North podcast,
Right.
so I guess it does matter, right? But at the end of the day, it's just funny. But what I liked about that guy was that he actually had some good, valid points, and I really admired some of the things that he did say. It's just that it just seemed like that was his big thing. It's like, we've gotten more NFC titles. It's like, okay, but Super Bowls are the only thing that matter, right?
Yeah.
So
that's really all that matters. And moving on to the last game that matters in the division this week, the Packers in a tough Steeler defense in Pittsburgh,
right?
Yeah. TJ Watt from Wisconsin facing the Packers, and I think he's going to have 3 sacks in this game. It's just, I mean, that offensive line.
Did you say Van Ness?
No.
Sorry.
I think Van Ness will probably have maybe some seats on the bench.
Still got no offense. So
yeah. And so we had some comments here that it may be roasty here. I think the Packers would be a low.
I agree.
Scoring barn. It could be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do 13-10.
Seriously.
Like
13-10?
seriously.
Yeah.
That's sounding rich too.
I don't know. I'm waiting for like a Kenny Pickett breakout game, to Deontay Johnson. With everything that's happening, who's the other wide receiver that's kind Pickens is kind of like just throwing a fit.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
That's the signs, man. That's how it started. Then start bugging out for no reason.
What do you guys think about this game? Like, I'm biased, okay? So I want to hear honest truth from you guys about this Packers-Steelers game.
They don't have an offense. They do have
both teams, right?
No, the Packers have a better offense than they have. It just hands down. It's not even close. Better. They got a better quarterback than the Steelers have. I mean,
what?
He's better than Pickett.
I'm listening.
He's better than Pickett. He is.
Wow.
He is.
Okay.
But Mike Tomlin he should have a job with the Steelers as long as he lives, because he's out there winning. I don't know. Even ESPN is amazed. Like, how do they win? They don't. They got TJ Watt, and that's it. But they win, and I don't understand how they beat the Ravens. But no offense. But the Packers have a good defense. But say what you want. It's good. It's good. You can't really,
they've got the players, but it doesn't always perform.
They're number 8. They're 8th in the NFL in defense.
Top 10, man.
But a big part of that's probably versus the Bears game that's kind of helped them out.
But they're top 10. They're top 10 either way against a terrible offense who's going to turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? Their offensive line ain't that good either. So I can see the Packers. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be some 6-7 shit or 9-6 or something crazy, because the offenses are going to struggle. But I can see whoever gets the shortest field, because it's going to be a field position game. Punt, put the ball at the 40. Yeah, it's going to be a baseball game, man. So
could be.
Whoever kicks the ball the best in the punts.
That literally was the Iowa versus Northwestern game, and it was played at Wrigley Field. It was 0-0 to halftime, 7-7, and a late, last-minute field goal. The Iowa won. It was ridiculous.
It was 3-0.
No, they won 10-7, but it was 0-0 at halftime. It was
it's going to be a field position special.
It could be. So
you know what I'm saying, so it's going to be like 9-6, 13-9. You know what I mean? Something crazy. I don't see the Steelers really scoring because they can't run. They ran the ball well last week, but I don't. The Packers are pretty good against the run, so I don't see. I know they can't beat them on the outside. It's going to be some gadgets. There's going to be some kick returns. It's going to be, something like that. I just don't see.
This could be a Najee Harris game, though. He can come back.
Man, Najee Harris is he need to come to us. Come to where he need an offensive line, yo. They doing him a service, yo.
He needs an offensive coordinator too, Canada.
Oh,
but
yeah. Canada's like Getsy 2.0. Well,
or Getsy's probably
AB, AA,
yeah.
1A, 1B.
Well, yeah, never put a grade of A or a letter A with Getsy.
My bad. So BB.
B or C or D or F.
Canada, Getsy.
Yeah.
1B, 1B.
When the Steelers, I remember tweeting out when the Steelers hired Canada, I said, "Oh, that's weird. The Steelers hire the least offensive country to be their offensive coordinator."
You know what? You're not lying. But we're the smartest. We don't spend any money on our military, and we let you guys do it.
Right. Bro, I've been to Canada, man. Listen, I was like, yo, America got some work to do. We just not nice at all. Everybody was so nice there. And Montreal was wonderful, man. I really enjoyed myself there.
I like Toronto was good too. So
you guys haven't even been to the best part. You guys gotta come west. Come west. Vancouver's not even the best city in our province.
Really? Okay.
Anyways.
Well, speaking of
so Andy, I know you want to pick the Steelers. Okay, I understand. You just saw me pick the Bears. Now, are we
trying to get me to reciprocate here?
Biased? Like, I want to hear what you have to say.
All right, so the line, right? The Steelers are 3-point favorites, and usually it happens at home. I was looking at the weather; it's going to be mid 30s to 40. It's just going to be cold. Doesn't look like it's going to be windy or anything. Over under 38. Yes, the Steelers are struggling offensively. But when you have a defensive player like, TJ Watt, and I was looking too on the other side. I know the Steelers have another guy on the other side that
Patrick.
Ogunjobi's on the other side. Hayward. I just defensively, I think obviously Joey Porter has struggled, I think, a little bit on the defense for the Steelers. But when you have like a player like TJ Watt, that's a difference maker, a game changer, and you have a quarterback like Jordan Love, who's gonna, get confused with pressure. It just, I see turnovers happening, and it's just hard. Obviously, yes, it's hard as a Bears fan to pick the Packers, right? But it's also, you look at Mike Tomlin and what he's able to do. I just have a hard time picking that offense. If they're smart, they will continue to, get the running game going for the Packers. And I just don't know on the road can Jordan Love do it. So Purple Rain also says 17-14 Steelers. I'm going to say probably maybe 17-10 Steelers, something like that. Yeah.
But look, I think that the Packers will be able to stick with the run longer because the Steelers don't score. They don't score, so you don't have to give up on a run so early. And the defenses are going to be tired because they're going to be on the field all day. So if they keep running the ball, feeding Aaron Jones, catching them out the backfield, make the linebackers cover them. Like it's ways that the Packers could. I just see more ways that the Packers can win than the Steelers. You know what I'm saying?
Who has a better defense, the Rams or the Steelers?
The Steelers. Well, the Rams, the Steelers have the 25th ranked defense.
Okay.
So they're not that, but they make plays. You know what I'm saying? They get the ball back. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? What rank? 9.5 sacks.
Right. What rank is the Raiders defense in the league? I don't know that.
I think it was like 27th or something like that. It wasn't.
See, Max Crosby killed us.
Yeah.
Right.
And versus the Bears actually, Max Crosby disappeared versus the Bears.
Yeah. But did you say that to say that they're better than us?
Well, no, not the Raiders, the Rams, who they just played, right? And so that was kind of like a against that defense until it was evident that the Rams weren't going to move the ball, right? Then Jordan Love started to make plays. Then it was kind of,
exactly,
so that is possible. When you look at Kenny Pickett, I think he has more
what
playmakers.
What?
Was Cooper Kupp playing last week versus the Rams?
Yes, they were. Yes,
okay, so
but
maybe not.
Was a bum.
Well, I do think I like Deontay Johnson and Pickens.
Yeah.
I like those guys. I think they're talented.
Yeah, but you got good corner too.
You want me to do it, don't you?
We're losing. We lost Douglas, so that's the crazy part.
You want me to do it, don't you, Trevor? You want me to say?
I'm just saying. I want to know why you're going to be picking the Steelers, and I want to know that it's logical and factual, and it's not just a bias. If you want to pick the Steelers, I'm totally fine with that. But you haven't said. There's only one thing you said that's even like remotely logical.
TJ Watt.
Yes,
I'll take that.
And that's the biggest, lowest hanging fruit.
Man, it's hot in him.
He's a big, low-hanging fruit. He is.
He's amazing.
He's a difference maker. He's probably the reason why they are 5-3. Like,
so
and that's why I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, this is my opinion. Okay, if TJ Watt dominates like Max Crosby did, then we're gonna lose. Okay, but if we can contain him like we did Aaron Donald and he didn't kill us, he's still gonna be good. Then we've got a shot, and I think we win the game. That is at the end of the day, that guy right there can win us or lose us the game, depending on, you know what I mean? So I'm worried about Watt.
So where was the game this past Sunday?
It was in LA, right?
No, it was at Lambeau. It was at home.
Lambeau?
Where's the game this Sunday?
Okay.
So let's look at the Packers' schedule. Obviously, the Bears game doesn't matter, right?
Okay, this is your second good point, just saying.
All right. Lost at Atlanta. Won at home versus the Saints. Lost Detroit. Lost at Las Vegas. Lost at Denver. Lost to Minnesota. Won at home, right? So the right? And I think I talked about at the beginning of the season. That's with a young quarterback, regardless, it's hard. It's out of their comfort zone. So that's what I would say. I'm going to go with the Steelers because of that. How about that?
Lost to the Jags at home, 20-10. The Jags have a terrible defense.
Who did?
The Steelers lost the Jags 20-10 at home.
Yeah.
They beat the Titans by 4 last week at home. They've been at home for 3 weeks now. They're going to be relaxing too much. They're going to say that we're not very good. Is home field advantage going to be home field?
You're
advantage?
Stretching here. You're really stretching. I give it to
you. I don't see too many pathways. I see one pathway for the Steelers winning. If they get good, they get turnovers and good field position. I can see the Packers. There's more chance for them to score than the Steelers. I just do. And I think the fact that I think they found something last week by handing the ball off, whether or not and getting effective runs and not asking too much of Jordan Love. You don't have to add. He don't have to be a world beater this week. He
can't be, right.
But he don't have to be.
Yeah.
They've been asking him to throw the ball 30-something times every week. You don't have to because they don't score. The Steelers don't score. So if he hands the ball off, we can play that play action game, and people are more open, and he can win. And the Packers can win like that. I don't know. I might be wrong, but
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Pathways for the Packers to win than the Steelers. The Steelers are just been getting lucky. You know how that lucky shit go. Luck runs.
Yeah. Out. Well, I mean, not only just lucky, but when you have like a transcendent defensive player like TJ Watt, you're going to get one of those 50-50 games where it's kind of a toss up and you're like, okay, well, you've got one of the best player. I mean, the Bears even did that or almost did that when they had Khalil Mack, right? Like I think just almost beat the Packers by himself one of those years, but they just didn't have enough. A couple things. Some last things I wanted to talk about. Trevor, did you see Rasul Douglas's quotes after he got traded?
Yeah, he was really upset, but I didn't see his quotes. So,
So when he was told, Gutekunst called and told him,
he hung up on him.
Yes, he thought it was
Wow. You know what? I think we all were shocked that he got traded, because in all honesty, why? It was so confusing. Like he was our second best cornerback, and they're hard to find. And he had a good fit in Green Bay. So part of me was like, do we think we're going to tank this year for sure? Like, is this what was going to happen? So like when he hung up the phone, I was like, he kind of embodied everything that Packers fans were like, what's going on? We were so confused at this. Like, what did we get for him? Was it a 3rd round pick?
I have to look. Yeah. It wasn't.
If it was a 3rd, okay, like that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So maybe that's why. If it's a 4th, then it's like, yeah.
He might not make the team, but that 3rd round pick, that's a possible linebacker or something. You know how y'all be picking somebody. Who the fuck is this guy making all this?
That's what we always do anyways. We don't even need a 3rd round.
Hey, what's this?
We pick 4th round guys in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Right.
So Kenny Clark was hurt for the Packers. So yeah, I mean that's the thing. Teams have injuries, right? But good teams win regardless of injuries. And this year it just has been the Lions, despite injuries. So it's going to be an interesting week, all around in the division. And you say, so 7th letter, a few parting things. You said that is Montgomery going to be fully healthy this week then?
Yeah, he was full participant in practice today. So
does he take over the number 1 role then?
Nah, they got to split that. My boy showed too much last week.
Well, down by the goal line, they're giving it to him though. That's
fine. I'm good with that. With that. But they gotta split it up now. Gibbs too explosive. Too explosive. I don't see them running him. They don't mind running him between the tackles no more either. And I think he's learned how to set up his runs now. So that helps me. That makes me more comfortable with handing him the ball a little more. But I do want to see him more in the receiving game. I want to use him like that in the open field 1-on-1 against people because he's just super fast, yo. Super fast.
Look at this, Mr. Kneecap biting with the Motor City Lions. Usually it's the Lions that are at this point in the season talking about draft, but look at him talking about the Packers, and I'm sure we can talk about the Bears draft stuff, where Bears aren't going anywhere. Packers probably aren't going anywhere in the playoffs either, but we'll be on draft topic soon as things kind of fall into place. Lions, we'll see. I mean, but yeah, I think the Packers, Trevor, would you say that's, accurate? They need to go left tackle early in the draft?
Yeah, I think it's just a no-brainer. I mean, what else are you going to go for, right?
Quarterback.
I mean, unless you could get Marvin Harrison Jr. or something like that. Like, come on, man.
I'm not doing that. Y'all not doing it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we never do it. So, like, for me, like, okay, so that's hindsight 2020. Van Ness or JSN? What would you do now? Right?
I don't know. I think I believe in patience. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I do think with all of the physical tools that Van Ness has, I think he'll be really good for y'all down the line. You know what I'm saying? I so. Especially in this phase. Like a lot of times we go for like, man, why we ain't pick Jalen Carter? He got all these sacks at the beginning and then Gibbs week 7 looks like something. You know what I'm saying? And Jack Campbell's starting to flash a little bit and be aggressive and violent. So it's like you just gotta wait it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like
even people in Atlanta are like, "Well, was Bijan worth it?" But So absolutely,
wait it out.
It is.
But I think left tackle you have to go. I know it's really early to be talking about it, but I think there'll be a good left tackle in the first round, and you can just take them and be happy with it. So,
and they probably will be pretty high. I think. So that's going to be the conundrum for a lot of teams, right? I mean, because as we know, the quarterback is the most important piece for a franchise, but you can't reach on a quarterback. I mean, the Vikings did that quite a few times, going for Christian Ponder and everybody. Obviously, the Packers. Trubisky. I would say obviously the Packers reached on Jordan Love as well and all that. So
whoa. That's a different story, brother. We're talking first overall to the end of the first round.
No, it wasn't first overall. It was second. Come on. 2.
Oh, sorry.
2.
Sorry. It felt like first.
It did. Well, this always feels like the first. I appreciate you guys coming on. You can find me NFL Outdated on Twitter, and like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Where can everyone find you, Trevor? Once again,
nobody follows me from this show on here. Just follow Andy. NFL
I follow
Outdated.
you. Come on, it's all great stuff, especially when Packers lose. That is my favorite time.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get a response out of me no matter what. I'll be honest. And my Twitter handle's Rev Trev K. I'd love for you to jump on there.
And where can we find you, sir? 7th letter.
You can find me on Twitter X at 7th letter 4, and on Instagram and Facebook at same OG. And on the top of the NFC North, you bitch.
Shout out to our listeners. Roasty, it's Raheem Morris, first Gibbs. Oh, now okay. We'll throw some other Roasty. Thanks again. Lots of great comments tonight.
Yeah, a lot of good people in here.
The Lions should grab a guard in the first. Jonah Jackson. All right.
Well, you know what? Let's get to the Super Bowl first, and we start talking. I ain't worried about the draft. I usually am. Remember last year I was like,
usually are. Yeah.
The draft this year is going to be all about the Bears because they're going to have 2 draft picks, and then they might trade back again and get more. They're in the driver's seat right now. But if we're low enough and someone wants a quarterback, that might happen for us.
Here's what I love too. Now the Cardinals, who have briefly been in the driver's seat, they're going to have Kyler Murray, and they're going to go on a winning streak. And I actually have my hotel reserved for Detroit. I'm coming in town. I'll be ready for the draft again. Was hoping it would be under different circumstances for the Bears, but
you'll be relevant.
Well, you're gonna be screaming them first 5 picks, man.
Hopefully screaming for the good reasons and not the fantasy. Like, I can never take any mock draft that says the Bears are going to take whatever quarterback and Marvin Harrison the first 2 picks. I don't take that seriously. That's ridiculous. It's fantasy football. They are not doing that. They may do one of those players.
Yeah.
But then they're going to go, offensive lineman, probably the guy out of Penn State. I know they've been, scouting him, or, an edge or something like that, probably an offensive lineman, because the Bears offensive line has really actually Tevin Jenkins has been graded really high recently, and also
not bad at all. Y'all been running the ball, so
that's the problem. They don't run behind them when it matters. This coaching staff is they have no idea. I'm gonna keep go on another rant here. But here, Motor City Lions.
He's trying to close us off, and he's going on a rant.
Yeah, it's just you get me going now. And
that was me last week.
It was a lot of great stuff. Appreciate everyone commenting and watching. Catch us again next week. Once again, this is the Freezin for NFC North Podcast, episode 66, week 10. Let's go. Have a great week. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, fellas. Y'all have a good night, man, and be safe this week.
You too.
Don't stay away.